Now, the other thing that I want to point out here is that you might, if you're actually working in your QuickBooks file, so let's imagine that you were in your company file, not in the test drive file, and you also wanted to open the test drive so that you could see both of them at the same time. So you can test something out in the test drive while you are also in your company file. So you have two different company files open, in this case, your own file, and the second one being the test drive file. You might not be able to do that in the same browser. So if this was my own company file and then I searched for the test drive, I might not be able to open that at the same time in the same browser because it basically sees me as logged in under the test drive credentials. So that means that if you can do that still by opening up another browser or possibly using the incognito. So again, let's imagine this was my actual, my company file. I'm going to go into it. Now I'm in Google Chrome. If you're using any other browser system, they usually have an incognito window, which will be similar. In this browser, it's in the three dots up top, and I go into the incognito window. So this is the one that's typically used if you want to, have something that's not going to save the cookies and whatnot that you're putting into it is, I think, the general idea of it. But in essence, it kind of acts like a different browser, allowing us, the two browsers aren't looking at each other right now. So it doesn't think that I'm logged into QuickBooks is the point. So that I can then type in QuickBooks Online test drive and log in this way. And I can have the two open at the same time so that if I'm working in my company file and I want to test something out, I can test it over here, in essence, in my sandbox, and then go back into QuickBooks Online. So I can have these two open at the same time. Now, another option to do that is that if you're in like Google Chrome, for example, you might open an entirely different browser like Microsoft Edge or whatever. So here's like Microsoft Edge, for example, and the same thing applies. Obviously, this whole different Microsoft Edge isn't going to think I'm logged in already as my own username, and therefore will allow me to log in as the practice file or possibly a different company. If you're a bookkeeper and you work on multiple companies, then this might be useful because then you could say, okay, if I did something on this company and I want to see what I'm doing on one screen and then open another company, and so I can kind of mirror what I did in the prior company if I'm trying to figure something out, then again, you can do that with multiple browsers is the general idea. All right, so let's close. I'm going to minimize this and go back to my